everyone, so I'm Karen and today I'm going to talk about language and gender, and the topic is why women are often called bossy when they take on leadership roles while men are called strong, authoritative, or even powerful. So let's get started. So some of the clips earlier were real examples of a sociolinguistic phenomenon. The way language reflects on reinforces social norms, especially gender norms, but I would like to show you a short podcast about women being called bossy when they take on leadership roles.
The way in which we label women is so different from the way in which we label men. I see this all the time where it's like, you're so bossy. And for a man, it's you're so authoritative, you're so strong, you're so sexy, you're so powerful. And as women, I think we need to make a choice. We can keep saying everyone else is going to keep labeling us that, or we can start to change the narrative. And when someone says that to us, we can say, I am bossy, but I'm also really strong and I'm really passionate. And we have to start changing those labels ourselves because there's nothing wrong with being strong.
So guys, that's for the short podcast. So let's analyze some points from a sociolinguistic perspective. Let's start with the questions. What is going on linguistically? We're looking at the use of different labels, bossy for women and authoritative for men, even when the behavior is the same. These are gendered language choices. They reflect implicit biases, social expectation about how men and women should behave. The second point is speech and gender stereotypes. In sociolinguistics, this connects to Deborah Tennant's theory of gender and language. She argued that men and women are often judged by different conversational norms. For instance, when men speak directly, they're seen as confident, but when women do the same, they may be perceived as rude or too assertive. It's not just about the words we use, but about how society interprets those words based on gender. And the third point is real data. So real world data, a study by the Harvard Business Review found that women receive more personality-based feedback than men in performance review. Words like abrasive, emotionally, or bossy often appear, while men are praised for taking charge or driving results. Another example, the Ban Bossy campaign, launched by Lean In and the Girl Scouts, showed that girls are discouraged from leadership at a young age because they're called bossy. This label makes them shrink themselves to avoid negative reactions. And the fourth point is language shapes identity. When women are constantly told they're too loud, too aggressive, or too bossy, it can affect their self-esteem and willingness to lead. Social linguist Pineapple Eckert notes that language is a tool for both creating and resisting social rules. So, how we creating the resisting social rules? So, how we label women leader can actually shape how many women pursue leadership at all. And the 5 points is changing the narrative. So, the podcast speaker says we need to change the narrative, and that's a key point. Language is not fixed, it changes culture and awareness. We can start by challenging biased labels. Instead of calling a woman busy, we can say driven or passionate, words we already use for men. More importantly, we can normalize assertive language in women and stop expecting them to soften their tones just to be liked. And for the conclusion, the way we use language around leadership is deeply gendered. It's not about women being more bossy than men. It's about how society perceives authority differently depending on gender. So by being more aware of this bias, we can begin to create an equal environment at school, at work, or everyday conversation. So, next time you hear someone called a woman bossy, ask yourself, would they say the same if she were a man? I think that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.